producer wife Beth, have you ever heard the saying, never let a good crisis go to waste?
Yes.
All right. Do you know who said it?
Probably somebody high up in a media company.
No, not exactly.
Oh.
It was originally credited, well, not originally credited, most recently credited to Rahm Emanuel, who was the Chicago mayor before
Yep.
the current one and was also on Clinton's team and whatnot. But in reality, it was Winston Churchill who first said that.
Okay.
And it was kind of him, looking to like push his agenda and stuff like that, what with the World War going on and all that. But we're learning now that just applies all the time, and there are people now in Michigan, since we had that school shooting, who are attempting to not let a good crisis go to waste.
Yeah.
So we're going to get into that in a minute. Before we do, visit us, folks, soulwisdom.com, SOULE wisdom.com. There you'll find links to our stores, links to our Teachables, our tip jar, all those things. Also, please do like, subscribe, share. Help us get the show out there in front of other people. We would very much appreciate that. Questions at soulwisdom.com if you want to email us too. So in segment 2, we opened the Lego Advent calendar, the Star Wars one, and we said there was like a little snowball mover container doodle. This is that item. If you're looking on YouTube or Rumble, you can see it. We had to add the little white blocks to it though, because they didn't give us snowballs for the snowball holder. But luckily we had some little guys sitting around, so we added it to it. And yeah, it's actually like a little robot guy.
Yeah.
So he goes around and picks up the snowballs or delivers them or something. I don't know. But we'll put him back there. And let's get into stuff, shall we?
Yep.
Okay. So this article from Fox News. Oxford school shooting. Michigan Congresswoman to introduce a bill requiring secure firearm storage in homes. The article reads, Representative Alyssa Slotkin, Democrat, Michigan, on Wednesday announced plans to introduce legislation requiring secure firearm storage in homes with children. Her legislation plans come approximately 3 weeks after a November 30th shooting at Oxford High School in Michigan's 8th district left 4 students dead and 7 others injured, including a teacher. Community members have since been calling for policy changes to prevent any future school shootings in the area. This came directly from the situation in Oxford. Over the past 2 weeks, I've been at church services and vigils and funerals and community meetings, and while the community is still in shock and crisis response mode, the one thing that everyone seems to agree on was the role the parents played in this particular incident, Slotnick told Fox News. I grew up in a gun-owning family. I carried a Glock and an M4 when I was on my 3 tours in Iraq and as a CIA officer. My dad is a gun owner. I have no problems with responsible gun ownership. Michigan has millions of responsible gun owners, but this law was drafted so that if you have a weapon and there's a reasonable expectation that there's going to be a child in the home, you have to keep it secure, and there's lots of ways to do that. And then they go on to talk about the shooter. We don't need to get into that. The Michigan Congresswoman's legislation called the Safe Guns, Safe Kids Act would require owners to safely secure firearms in living situations in which children could access the weapons. It would also impose a penalty up to 5 years if a child accesses a firearm and injures himself or others as a result. The law would apply to children who get a hold of the firearm and hurt themselves or others, not only in school shootings, but in home incidences and other incidences of violence. Whether you are a gun owner or not, whether you're a Democrat or Republican, I think most people feel it's reasonable to say parents should keep their guns away from children. It's a child safety issue, not a Second Amendment issue, Slotkin said, adding that individuals would still be able to keep unlocked guns in their homes so long as they don't have children staying with them. Okie dokie. Thoughts, Producer Riff?
I have a couple of issues with it. One, I hate the idea of laws that can't be really regulated Because what are they going to do? Start going door to door like the Gestapo and check to make sure? I mean, are you going to have something like Child Protective Services now, like enacting this? Like, who's going to make sure that this is actually put in place?
Well, it would certainly give them a doorway to do that if they wanted to.
And that alone is scary.
Yeah. What else?
The other thing is, of course, if you have a gun locked up and you're in a bad area, because they're talking about the entire state of Michigan, and not all of the state of Michigan is safe to live. So if you're in one of the hoods, so to speak, and there's a chance your house is going to get burglarized or broken into or something like that, do you really want to have to go, enter a 9-digit pin into a key pad and wait for the lock to beep at you so you can get your gun out?
Yeah. I don't think the criminal is going to wait.
No.
First off,
hopefully you have throwing stars or something.
Yeah. Right? Just to hold them off for a minute.
Yeah.
Well, they go, ow, that hurt. That gives you the time to...
Yeah.
Good Lord. I don't know. So, this whole thing is a response to the fact that a young person grabbed a hold of a gun and went and shot a bunch of other young people.
Yeah.
And I am not for a moment downplaying that incident. So let's not even go there. Let's not even think that Dan doesn't think this was a thing. Oh, no, it was a thing.
It was definitely a thing.
Okay. So don't go there. But this is in response to that, and the idea is, well, if the guns were locked up, it wouldn't be an issue. Here's the problem. Those parents bought that gun for him. It was a Christmas present.
Yeah.
So the first problem here for me is that they could say, well, if the gun was only locked up, but that's not even where these parents' heads were. So even if you had a law requiring you to lock your guns up in your house if you have a child, these parents wouldn't have gone there because clearly they wanted to get this kid a weapon, which, by the way, in and of itself, I don't personally have a problem with. What I have a problem with, perhaps, is that these parents had no idea who their child really was.
Although, didn't you say the mom texted him like before he did it and said like don't do it or something like that? So I think maybe they had an inkling as to who he was.
Well, that was after the fact. If you follow the timeline, at least as it's laid out so far, they were brought to the school that day to talk about some indications that he could be violent and be a problem. They left him in the school. Not only the parents did, but the administration did as well. The dad got an idea that, ooh, maybe I should check and see if that gun's at home. Ran home to check, allegedly. All this allegedly, this is just what the prosecution's laid out so far. Ran home to check to see if the weapon was still there, found that it wasn't, and then at that point, the mom texted him and said, don't do it. But bottom line is these parents were either blind or just stupid that they're going out and getting a weapon for a kid who clearly wasn't stable enough to handle it.
Yeah.
But in and of itself, I don't have a problem with the idea of having your children be familiar with a firearm, having your children understand how they work, how to be safe with it, things like that. We have done that kind of training with our child.
Yeah.
Because it's important that he understands how these things work and, proper handling of them and everything else. But we also teach our son right and wrong. We spend a ton of time with him. He is being raised with ethics and morals and things like that. You can have all the laws in the world, but it doesn't cause a child to be raised in a proper way. And I think that is the biggest thing that is missing in our society right now. Is we have kind of two different kind of parents so often. We either have the absentee parent, the one who had a child for a status symbol, but then spends no time with them, farms them out to daycares and the schools and the everything else, and barely interacts with the kid. Or we have the parent who wants to be the child's best friend and looks at the child as their best friend, and they're all buddy-buddy and they go and do things, but that doesn't teach the child necessarily right from wrong, good or bad, because you're more concerned about being friends
Yeah.
than you are being a parent. And I have told all of my children from the time they were little, and this isn't meant in a bad way, but it's the truth. I'm not their friend. I'm their parent. It's different. It doesn't mean we can't be friendly. We should be friendly. We should be on good terms. We should enjoy each other's company. But my main role is not to be their bud. It's to be their teacher. It's to be their parent. But I think that's more of what's missing for me. So we can sit here and have laws that say, oh, if that gun was just locked up, none of this would have happened. Really? So there would have been no way whatsoever, even if that gun was locked up, for that kid to get the combination or to take a crowbar to the safe, because most safes are cheap.
Yeah.
If the
or
kids
to get a gun from another location, who's to say he didn't know somebody else who had a gun?
Yeah. Or grab a knife. There's the pew isn't the only way.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is, if the kid has hate in his heart, that's the problem. And we continue as a society to dance around that idea. I've said it for a long time, and I'll say it again to anybody who's willing to listen. Our problem is not that we need more laws, or that we need less weapons, or that we need this or we need that. It comes down to the quality of people that we are making.
Yeah.
And until you fix that...
You can't regulate out hate.
No, you can't regulate out hate. You can't regulate morality, though we try to, because it seems like government's new religion.
Yeah. But
it doesn't work. This is why having in my opinion, having belief in something that you call God or some higher being or something to keep you grounded in what's good and what is evil, that's why that's important. Because if you don't have that, then it's easy for this hatred to kind of gestate inside you, and then the next thing you know, you're out there, harming a bunch of people.
Yeah. And
ain't no law gonna stop that.
No.
And this one to me, it's stupid. I mean, I'm not saying that securing your firearms is a stupid idea, but in the same respect, it wasn't going to change what happened here. And most certainly, you don't want your firearms so secured that they can't be used to defend your home.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of the whole point of them in the first place, is to defend yourself. I mean, if you had like a hunting rifle or something that you're not going to use to defend yourself in a home invasion situation, well, sure, lock that thing up.
Yeah.
But something else better be more easily accessible if you want to actually, otherwise, why do you have it?
Yeah.
So, I know those are my thoughts. We'll see where this thing goes. Something tells me that it's not going to get a whole lot of support when it's all said and done. But we'll see. I don't know. I've been surprised before.
Yeah.
But to your point, how do you enforce it?
Yeah.
Unless the whole idea is to just open the door for home inspections, in which case, good luck getting into mine.
Yeah. Well, we don't live in Michigan, so.
No, this is a U.S. representative from Michigan. So this is being proposed in Congress.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So we'll see.
Yeah.
I think this is when we get pushed back.
Yeah.
All right, we'll leave it there for now. That's it for today. We will not be back with you tomorrow. Tomorrow is our son's birthday. So we're going to spend the day with him. We will be back with you Monday for sure. Maybe Sunday if we decide we want to do a Sunday show. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. We will see. But in the meantime, please do enjoy yourselves. Take care of yourself. Have fun. Enjoy life. All of those things. And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.